in. How is everyone today? It's really nice here. So you guys know I love to film outside. I try to enjoy the weather. I am doing like a wormwood cleanse sort of, and I started today and I'm not feeling very great. So if anyone's ever done a cleanse, like a wormwood natural cleanse with like black walnut, just comment and let me know how it worked out for you. I'm going to make sure my comments are on. Let's see here, live chat. Okay. Did everyone watch the reunion? If not, obviously this is a spoiler alert. If you haven't gotten a chance to watch the third part to the reunion, then you're definitely going to want to do that before you watch this video. Hey, Catherine, how are you today? So happy it's Thursday. It's almost the end of the week. I can't wait for the weekend. Hey, Groovy, how are you? What did you guys think of last night's episode? Did you like it, hate it, surprised? I was like disappointed, but I knew I was going to be disappointed. I also had a stray cat show up at my house, and my daughter loves her. So now we have a cat. Hey, Marsha, thanks for joining us today. I appreciate you so much. I really do. Hey, Kim. I know, it was a sad ending, wasn't it? It was a sad 3-part series all the way around. I didn't think it was great. And I want to talk a lot about Kathy and Kyle. Hey, Mia. I thought it was boring as well. Groovy said, I'm so happy Kathy didn't fall apart. Yeah, I know. I am too. She cried more last year's reunion than she did this year's reunion. So let's talk a little bit about, this cat's gonna drive me nuts. I can already tell. You can't jump on that, honey. Okay, guys, first, before we get started, of course, everything in this video is alleged, and a spoiler alert, of course. Let's go ahead and get started reviewing last night's episode. I'm gonna try to go in order, but I'm also gonna tell you guys some different things that I've heard today going around on the internet. I'm sorry about that, guys. I told you, this cat. I'm telling you. Driving me crazy. Okay, so last night's episode, a couple of things going on over the internet. First of all, I saw Dana's show. Did you guys watch it with Thea from your mom's watching account on IG? She is the one who actually, came out with the first Patrick Summers story. To be honest, she's the one that broke it. And she is really nice. She's always been super nice to me. She's on Dana Wilkie's show before. She always answers my questions. Her intention wasn't to be like a blogger or be on Instagram, but, she loved Bravo and she started posting about it. And I think like her career was sort of like a writer. I think she has a lot of big contacts, but she is not buying Kathy Hilton's story. But regardless, she mentioned that she saw her at Bravocon and she said that Kathy could barely walk. And she had 2 security with her, kind of holding her up, is how Thea described it. And she said she looked like spaced out, like blank, like nobody was home. And Dana kind of asked, like, well, do you think it was like, she was on medication? Like, maybe Rinna gave her a Xanax? Like, what do you think? And Thea just said, like, it could have been a combination between, like, a physical thing and maybe she is on medicine for that. And that's what's making her look, spaced out. Or she could have been taking something. Who knows? We know that Kyle and Kathy did see each other and speak at Bravocon, so that's a good thing. But still really curious about Kathy's like situation, because we see her on Instagram and we don't see her with any issues, and we saw her in that little duet that she did with was it LaToya Jackson, and she seemed fine then. They were like dancing. So if anyone knows anything about Kathy Hilton's physical situation, or something's going on, because also, she wore those slippers through the airport, she flew in them. So maybe she's like having issues with her feet. And maybe that's why she was also mad at Kyle for like pointing it out and making fun of her, because maybe she's got something going on. Who knows? Also, quickly, something I want to mention that was going around. I saw this clip. Oh my gosh, you guys. I mean, you'll believe it, but it was, of course, guess who it was? It was Kris Jenner and Kathy Hilton. And guess who the third one was? The morally corrupt Faye Resnick. And they did a little clip, and Kris is like telling Kathy how Kathy needs to go on a vacation now that she's planned Paris's wedding. And Kris, you know, tells how she planned Chloe and Lamar's wedding in 9 days and had Vera Wang make a dress for Chloe in 9 days. And Groovy says, I think she was medicated because her mouth was dry and had water with her. That's a good point, Groovy. She did have water with her. I thought that too. Like, I was so shocked she took a sip of water there, unless if she like thought they were like during break. She thought it was break or something, because, you know, we don't typically see any of the ladies, no matter how long they're sitting there, like whip out a bottle of water and start drinking it. So that is possible. Anyways, the clip was like them talking about going to Mexico for a vacation, for a girls' trip. And it just made me laugh because, I don't know. It just, you know, Kris is getting up there and Faye Resnick's getting up there. And it just, I don't know. Groovy said, listen, I've had to be medicated to be around that group of girls. Absolutely, Groovy. We cannot judge Kathy for that. You know, I'm sure with being around all those people, it would make sense that they probably do, you know, take something beforehand. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah, I don't know. Last night's episode, let's get back to it. Okay, so that's what was going around on the internet. And then in last night's episode, did you guys, oh, this was the other thing I wanted to tell you that was out in the media. Did you guys see, I think it was TMZ that caught Kyle and Dorit out to dinner somewhere, and they were coming out of the restaurant, and it was like paparazzi. Oh, surprise, surprise, the paparazzi's here. Like, I don't know. I think you guys probably called the paparazzi, and they were there taking photos and asking Kyle how everything went at the reunion and if her and Kathy were speaking. And Dorito was like, oh, sisters always make up. And Kyle's like, yeah, we just threw my niece Brooke a shower. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, nobody saw you in any of the photos. Like, did you write a check for it? Like, what do you mean when you say you threw it? Like, you paid for it? You paid for a third of it? I don't know. I just felt like that looked really super staged to have the paparazzi conveniently waiting on the night that the third part reunion airs. And of course, it's Kyle and Dorit. I just don't think that is cool. Kelly, oh my God, the way Kyle yelled over Kathy, who she knows speaks in shorthand and was trying to explain herself, I felt like she came for Dorito harder than she came for anyone. Like, she didn't even... Lisa Rinna called Kathy. She said, I've seen Satan. You're a monster. And Kathy, or Kyle, like, interrupted and was like, please, please, guys, you're only making this worse on me. Like, please be nice to my sister on my account is almost what she kind of started to sound like, because we didn't, it could have been the edit, but we didn't see Kyle take much responsibility in this third part series for anything in their relationship, i.e. she knows she's getting ripped apart on social media, and I think obviously it's been way worse since they filmed the reunion, because they filmed the reunion so early, that she's getting a lot of shit on the internet. I mean, just for putting Kathy in that room with the 2 bunk beds, like, everyone thought that was crazy. Like, not trying to be mean, but Kathy, I don't know, was she in her 60s, like late 50s, early 60s? You think in a little tiny bunk bed, it just seemed peculiar, and she didn't address that, and Andy didn't ask it, so it either really wasn't coming out yet, people weren't talking about it, or they did and it missed the edit. Another thing that allegedly missed the edit is this envelope that Lisa Rinna had. We saw her on camera put it behind herself. It was like a big yellow envelope, but we never saw what was in it. Allegedly, there's a Twitter account that was linked to Lisa Rinna, and the Twitter account said that Lisa Rinna's receipts were going to be read on the reunion and she was going to be vindicated. Okay? And now we didn't get to see anything about the envelope. So that's very, very strange, I think. And for Lisa to just say, okay, I'll let it go now, it seems strange too, because you haven't let it go all season. And even after Kathy apologized to Lisa, she still didn't say, I'm going to let this go, or I'm going to let it be between you and Kyle. She still continued on. So why all of a sudden would she be like, okay, I'm going to let it go now? Unless if she felt vindicated because maybe her messages got read. Let's be honest here. Did Kathy delete the message she sent to Lisa and didn't think that it would delete in Lisa's phone? Or why would she do that? Like, did she not run that past anyone and say, I mean, we heard Paris was coaching Kathy, because Paris is like the A++ student of getting interviewed. They say she's super difficult to interview because she's always has an answer prepared. She's interviewed so much that you're never going to catch her with a question off guard. You're never going to get anything that she doesn't want you to have. So we heard that she was coaching Kathy for the reunion. So it seems strange to me that she wouldn't run it past anyone and say, hey, what if I delete the message I sent Lisa and say, look at my phone, I don't have the message. Like, what do you guys think? You know, ask Carol. She's got her friend Carol, who's like, I don't know who she is, to be honest, but she has like a lot of big time followers on IG, and they show little tiny clips of her. And I'm not sure if she is like an assistant to Kathy or more of a party planner, because she posts like all the parties that Kathy Hilton throws, all the showers. She posts all the behind the scenes, and like before everyone comes, it's all set up, and it is like gorgeous. It's like paradise. She throws these parties in Malibu, and she's like this big patio with a bar, and she throws parties like Lisa Vanderpump. Remember how she used to throw parties? That's what Kathy's parties look like. But Carol, who was with Kathy when she came in, you saw a clip of her last night. She had the glasses on. And everyone was also making a big deal about Kathy coming in her pajamas. Why wouldn't she come in her pajamas? She's getting, everyone else is in a robe. They showed Dorito in a robe. They showed all the other girls in a robe. What would it matter? I don't know. Didn't they all kind of show up in like pajamas and like streetwear? That seems strange to me, to like make people were like, you know, praising her about that. I think Kathy would have been annoyed, but a meltdown, no way. I don't know. I think that Kathy Hilton always has control. Okay, Kathy Hilton and all of the, you know, adventures of reality TV that she's went on with Paris in Love, whatever the case may be, they've always had the edit. They've always had the last say. It's a lot like how Kris Jenner's business is ran with Keeping Up with the Kardashians. They say what goes and what doesn't go. And so she has always been able to control the narrative until Paris kind of opened a can of worms with this whole, you know, Utah School for Troubled Children and the documentary. And so the timing seemed kind of perfect because of everything that, you know, Kathy was feeling backlash about Paris's situation. Perfect timing to go on the show with Kyle, you know, blase skip. But Kathy, being a smart person or somebody on her team, being strategic, should have thought, if Kathy Hilton comes on here as a friend and everyone loves her, it's going to make her a target, right? I mean, of course that's going to make the ladies jealous. Like Teddy Mellencamp said, Kathy didn't go to any of the events. She didn't go skiing. She didn't go snowboarding. She didn't show up to any of that. We didn't see her show up to those sorts of things most of the time this season. We didn't even see her till half the season was over. She was allegedly fighting a contract to getting a bigger pay rate. So that's one, going to make you a target. Anyone that's making hella money or more money than women that have been on the show, They're not going to like that. They're not going to let Kathy Hilton make more money than them or close to, whatever the case may be, because they don't feel like she put in the work. She didn't work her way up the totem pole like they have. And so they don't want her coming in and getting a big paycheck out of it. And I do think that in Lisa Rinna's head, she was like, and work. Kathy, you want to get paid? You're going to work more. But regardless, Kathy Hilton is used to having control. We see this in two different situations. Even if she didn't use any sort of slur about the DJ, which you guys, I just wanted to tell you that I've been right about the DJ whole situation this entire time. I've been telling you this is the story, this is what happened. Everyone was trying to say no, 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 and I was like, no, this is what happened. It was definitely the DJ, and that's what. And now we find out that's what happened. Kathy said it herself. And I think I respect the fact that Kathy gets into it with the manager when she says, hey, if I give you a couple of $100, can you play some songs for me and my girlfriends? And he says, oh, no, 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 we're too busy for that. And she's like, well, that's strange because, you know, I've been coming here for 20 years and it's never been too busy any other time. And it's not too busy in the south of Paris, and it's not too busy here, and it's not too busy there. And dude was like, well, where are you from? And she's like, LA. And he's like, you should go back there. And then allegedly her response, who knows? But I come in hot like that sometimes with people when they, not disrespectful, but if I feel like if I'm paying for like a service that I don't feel like I'm getting, then I feel like I don't have a problem, you know, nicely expressing that. And maybe Kathy felt disrespected and embarrassed because who knows who it happened in front of, because allegedly, guys, there were over 200 people in this bar, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense either, because we keep hearing how small Aspen is. Aspen is so small, but also known to be a big party town, if y'all know what I mean. And you know, Kelly Dodd loves Aspen. And according to Vicky, she also loves you know what, so it would make sense. Kelly Dodd's always talking about Aspen. She always says like she wanted to bring the Housewives there, and they wouldn't let her. And then like a year or two later, they ended up filming there with Kyle because, you know, Kyle Mauricio. But I don't understand how there were 200 people in this private bar where nobody had a phone, where nobody could video, nobody could take any pictures. 200 people in Aspen, in this small town, and all 200 people are at the bar? I don't know. That doesn't seem right to me at all. Yeah, that doesn't sound right. There was a post that went around. Oh, man, I don't know if I put it on my Instagram. I want to read it for you guys. And it was somebody that worked at the club. And they said, of course, everyone had NDAs, and they basically verified this story with that Kathy said she went up, she tried to play songs, yada yada yada, and they said it wasn't even a big deal. So that makes me feel like, okay, then nobody would have really been seeing this happening. Like maybe it was so loud that her and the manager were kind of like yelling back and forth. We know that she stomps over. Marsha, I think so, because it's a private club. So I don't think that, at least all of the staff, I'm sorry, all of the staff for sure had NDAs. I don't know about inside the customers. I'm sorry. I should have said the staff. But allegedly a staff released this anonymous statement that I am speaking about, that this person who allegedly worked there and allegedly was working there that night said the incident happened and it wasn't even a big deal like that. Now, I think it was a big deal between Kyle and Kathy, because Kathy stormed over and allegedly like looked at Kyle and was like, let's go, we gotta go right now. And that's when Kyle gets upset because Kyle doesn't want to leave, and the altercation takes place. And I had something I wanted to tell you guys. I had tea about that and I can't remember what it was. Damn it. I hope I remember it. Anyways, so that's allegedly what happened at the Cabana bar. 200 people there. Now, somebody did catch Kathy Hilton flipping out in front of Kemosabe, the store. There was a Housewives fan that was in Aspen that week, and she posted to her story outside of Aspen, outside of the store, and she, like, Kathy Hilton was in the background, you know, getting upset, right? So we did know that something happened in Aspen, but we just didn't really know what that was yet. Let me see here. And like I said, guys, I think the tension was like mostly between Kyle and Kathy. Like because they're so invested, and Kyle's very much an emotional person anyways. I reminds me a little bit of myself like 15 years ago before I was like mature. She kind of reminds me of like a 20-year-old. Like I had a little bit of her same attributes that I've like corrected now. And I she's very like emotional all of the time. Like Kyle is a very emotional creature. And so she's already emotional. They're invested in each other because they're sisters. They've got all of the people in the cast watching. They've got the camera crew watching. Like, I'm sure it's a lot of pressure. This is what I wanted to tell you guys. Allegedly, when all of this transpired, the crew, as in like production, as in like the cameramen, were across the street at a steakhouse having dinner. And so when this broke out, they had to hurry up and leave and head over there. So that's why some people didn't believe that Bravo didn't have any sort of footage of anything that happened because, like I said, allegedly they dropped the ladies off. They can't go into film. They go across the street to have dinner and drinks. Who knows? We've heard these production people are crazy. We've also heard that sometimes production will go with them. Like they'll take their typical production team when they travel, but also a lot of times they'll have like a local production step in, which was kind of my like get out of free jail card for Bravo for like not having exact footage of it, but they should have had something, unless if Erika just did not speak up in that moment and she didn't say anything until her and Lisa like came up with this plan. Because did you hear Kathy say that, oh, come on, Lisa, we were sitting on Erika's bed and you said, you're preaching to the choir. You're preaching to the choir. So that made me suspicious that they were sitting on Erika's bed, because what if Lisa and Erika saw what was happening with Kyle and Kathy? They knew there was a crack in their relationship. And they knew Kathy was drunk, and they went back to the house and said, come on, Kathy, come hang out with us in Erika's room. You don't want to hang out in the bunk beds, do you? I can't believe that Kyle would give you that room. Erika, can you believe that Kyle would give Kathy that room? And Erika's probably like, oh yeah, I couldn't believe it. Kathy, I offered and told Kyle like 3 different times to let me switch rooms. Please, I'll go downstairs and let Kathy have my room. And so they probably just got her going. And that's why another reason I think it's a lie that there's no audio or no nothing of what happened at Kyle's house, because they knew that Kathy was flipping out. They knew it from the van ride. So what do you guys think about Bravo? Do you think that they're protecting Kathy at all? Do you believe that she said the things about Kyle, like she was going to take her down, and take her whole family down and all of that jazz? I believe that there's animosity over the situation with Rick and Mauricio. Honestly, I think that if Kyle were to divorce Mauricio tomorrow, Kathy would buy her whatever she wanted. I swear, I think she would, because I think that the whole situation with Rick, like, how do you really get over that? How do you really get over, like, you bringing a brother-in-law in, educating him, giving him a job, keeping him on his feet, and allegedly, Mauricio says they would never make him a partner. He was as high as Rick would let him go. Rick said that wasn't the case. Regardless, Mauricio allegedly going out, starting the agency behind Rick's back. They have a gentleman's agreement that they're not going to take each other's clients, right? And we hear that's not true. We hear that Mauricio takes several other agents with him. And he also gives no sort of notice, and he does it in an email to Rick. And we see Kyle talk about this on the show, like a little bit between her and Mauricio. And she does seem against it. Like, she's like, I'm just so terrified of my family, of what's going to happen. And Mauricio doesn't really seem to give any, like, he doesn't care. And I would love for you guys to go back and watch that season. That's the season that he was allegedly also cheating Remember the whole magazine, Lisa Vanderpump, Brandy ordeal. He lost over 40 employees. Oh my goodness. Bravo needs to cut some ties. They made us up so much, I don't think we'll ever know exactly what was said. I agree with you, Catherine. I don't think we'll know exactly what was said. And I think that Kathy was drunk. I definitely think Kathy was drunk. She likes to drink. Kyle likes to drink. They like to have a good time. They're good time girls. That's why Kyle has all these party tricks that she pulls out. And the other women who, you know, are probably like actually housewives that are at home. Like, I feel like Mauricio and Kyle had a pretty active social life for 4 kids. I mean, maybe not in Beverly Hills, I guess. They probably... Well, I mean, did you guys ever read The House of Hilton? Oof. It doesn't depict Kathy in a very great light either. Like the girls... this is a very watered down version, but basically the kids are always with a nanny. And Kathy and Rick are out being socialites. I don't know. But I would say that, you know, Paris... Now she loves her mom, and so much so that she's willing to take her aunt on, and she's on Twitter liking, you know, sort of definitely negative posts towards Kyle. But in my opinion, I think that that's where a lot of their problems come from. And I think that Kathy can forgive Kyle because she knows that in the end, Mauricio was the one who made the decision, and it was him starting his own business. And, but we saw the way they kind of were with her at their house in Aspen. It didn't seem like Mauricio was really trying to like be gracious to her or be extra gracious to Kathy. Like, it was kind of the opposite. It seemed that way to us. And maybe that's just the way that Bravo wanted it to seem. Maybe that was the edit. We don't really know. I think that it's shameful of Bravo to do an entire season about Kathy Hilton and have everyone, I mean, this has been crazy. And we get a 3-part series. And guys, we literally got like 25 minutes of Kathy. We should have got an entire scene. We should have almost gotten an entire part of like Kathy and Kyle alone on the stage working it out. Don't you guys think like that would have been way more dramatic? Like, okay, guys, you know what? We need to take a break and we're going to clear the set except for like a cameraman and Kathy and Kyle, and we're going to try to work this out. Because I think if they would have eliminated the other women, they would have gotten a better, they would have had been able to get somewhere, because it's somebody was always making a side comment, whether it was Lisa to Kathy, Kathy to Lisa, Erika to Lisa, Erika to Kathy. So it was like it was just a constant interruption, and then Andy Cohen having to speak over them. And I just think a lot of people are invested in Kyle and Kathy's relationship and their sisterhood and all of that people would have enjoyed seeing 20 minutes of just Kathy and Kyle and Andy talking about, you know, what is going on. Because you could tell that Kyle didn't really get any sort of closure afterwards. She's left like super upset. She's crying for hours, allegedly. Kathy says, you know, Kyle, you didn't say 2 words, but it's fine. I'm not upset. She's a little passive aggressive. But Kyle also doesn't seem to, you know, Kyle does seem to be playing the martyr a little bit here. I think that she wanted Kyle to say, like, she wanted Kyle to speak on her character, you know, because who knows you better than your sister, than your family that you grew up with? So if you're sitting there saying, like, I swear to God, I did not say that, and I am not someone that ever even speaks that way. Like, everyone that knows me knows I don't talk that way. And Kyle doesn't say anything unless if the edit was just that way. I mean, I feel like that is kind of shitty, isn't it, to like not say anything? Like, she should have said, that's my sister. You know, she's like, she made sure Kyle goes, I don't know if you heard me or if you were paying attention or not, but I clearly said that I did not hear those words come out of my sister's mouth. But she doesn't say, my sister doesn't talk like that. My sister would never say that. My sister's a good person. She didn't say nothing until Lisa called Kathy a monster. She said she had seen Satan and that Kathy was a monster, and then Kyle interjected and was like, whoa. And again, Carlos King coming and telling the viewers exactly what most of us already know. That's Kyle's show. Kyle's been running that show for a long time. We all know that originally it wasn't even going to be the Beverly Hills Housewives. It was just going to be Kim, Kathy, and Kyle. It was going to be about 3 sisters. So Kyle has always had a big part behind the scenes. She's like a secret producer. And Kathy knows that. And so I think that she would have liked Kyle to say anything on her behalf, because with her not saying anything was like saying something without saying anything. Because if your sister doesn't stick up for you, like, who else is supposed to intervene and be like, yeah, she is a good person, you know, she, whatever the case may be. But she did it. And I think that's where she really went wrong. Then, like we said, the whole phone thing, that was like wild. I don't know why Kathy would think that if she deleted the message, it would delete it in Erika's phone, or delete it in Lisa's phone too. It kind of seemed a little bit plotted though, because it's like Rinna has her phone. She's so quick to pull out her phone in this message in like 2 seconds. You know what I mean? So, also Erika pulling out her phone when Andy Cohen was asking her about the diamond earrings. I wondered if she was doing that because she thought they wouldn't air it if she was holding her phone and like looking like she wasn't paying attention, like that it was a casual moment amongst them while they were just, you know, waiting to get started or whatever. Because when Andy says, but you're appealing it, and she says, we're appealing it for legal reasons. He's like, so you're fighting to get them back. She's like, pulls out her phone, looks down, starts typing, looks back at him and says, we're appealing it for legal reasons. And so they all know that she is trying to get the earrings back. She walked around Aspen with them, and, you know, Kathy comes in and says, everything you're wearing, Erika, isn't yours. Like, you owe all these victims money. You spent their money, like, whatever the legal logistics are, sometimes those aren't necessarily relevant, because the fact of the matter is like, you spent somebody else's money, okay? Even if Tom gave you the money, you still spent it. And so it wasn't yours. And so technically, I guess what you're wearing probably isn't yours. But I did like Erika's response. I feel like you can tell she's in therapy, because she was like, you know what? I'm working. Like, you know, if I don't save myself, I can't make anything else right, hypothetically, if I had to. Which I don't even think that, I mean, if she's fighting for the earrings back, she's definitely not going to be trying to spend any money anywhere, I'm sure. Also, did you guys peep that Andy asked about Tom, and Erika said that she talks to him like once a week, and that it's just like real short, bye, and how, like, hi, how are you, and then bye, that's it. I don't know what that was. Like, Erika trying to stay a little bit relevant, because really she's just got this story going on. That's it. Like, they're all kind of struggling here. And again, I think that's why I feel frustrated that they've like lived off of Kathy Hilton storyline all season. Bravo knows that, and they still give us like two parts that are didn't have Kathy in it. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Don't you think that it would have been good to have Kathy and Kyle on the stage by themselves, working out some of their issues without the other ladies? I think they could have done an entire part just of that. And they could have still edited Kathy well. I think part of the issue they didn't want to have a whole lot of Kathy is because they don't want, they're trying to, they're trying to help Kathy. They're not really trying to make Kathy look bad. They're really, let's be honest here, Nene Leakes just sued Bravo. We had Jenny from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City that was fired for racist comments. There were people from Vanderpump Rules that were fired for racist tweets and comments. So Bravo doesn't really probably necessarily want another situation where they're in the press accused of racism. And then we already had it at the beginning of the season with like Garcelle and her son and the people that were messaging those terrible things to him. So I don't think Bravo wanted another situation that had to do with like hate, because it was already enough, I feel like. What did you guys think of Crystal I don't know. I really don't care if I see her next season. I heard she's very nice. Thea said she was really nice and spoke with her at Bravocon for like 15 minutes. Um, but I'm not really interested in her husband. I get a weird, he gives me a cringe. He gives me a cringe vibe. I don't care if he was a producer on The Lion King or not. That makes me actually like cringe a little bit more. Um, I feel bad for her because she's with him, and I feel like he like snagged her when she was young and she didn't know any better. And he probably had like money, and maybe I don't know how well off her parents are, but maybe and her brother's like younger than her, so she could have felt a sense of like responsibility to like marry well if she had the opportunity. And help take care of her family, and then her husband or her brother ends up growing up to be like a pop star. But I heard that he's like in trouble, and that I don't know. Allegedly, I heard he's in trouble or something overseas somewhere, and so he's been staying in the Americas with her, but I'm not sure if that's actually true or if it's just neighborhood gossip. Taglines are also out for Potomac. I know all of you guys aren't into Potomac. I did see this. Somebody said that Bravo was going to do away with taglines. I was like, I don't think that's true. And now they just came out with Potomac's taglines. Dana asked Thea who the most Bravo celebrity surprised her, like which one was like super nice and which one was super mean. And I told you guys that Crystal, she said, was super nice, and that Giselle was actually very rude, and she was on the phone and she was yelling and she wouldn't take pictures, and she was really surprised. And I was like, that's the preacher's wife for you. You married to Jamal Bryant, sloppy and messy, over there Bravocon yelling. She looks good on Watch What Happens Live, though. I'll give her that. What else didn't we talk about? Oh, did you guys catch this too? Kathy says something to Kyle about apologizing on camera. She makes it sound like she really was. She said, I'm going to make Kyle happy and I'm going to apologize to her on camera. And I thought that was weird. Like, she was saying, like, saying without saying that Kyle really cares about her image and she really cares about the show, and it's important, that people don't see her like bossing Kyle around, kind of. But Kathy definitely made it seem like she was going all the way out of her way to come to Kyle's house and give her a face-to-face apology, because she said, I could have apologized to you on the phone, Kyle. I didn't have to go to your house to do it. I could have just apologized to you on the phone. And then you have Lisa Rinna on her way over to the house. And you see how Kyle says, oh my gosh, I'm getting blamed for that too. Well, is production setting all of this up completely? Did they surprise Kathy with Lisa Rinna? Or did Kyle? Because Stephanie Holman from Watch What Happens, or not, from Real Housewives of Dallas, was answering like Ask Me questions, and someone asked her about like filming for the Real Housewives, and maybe it's completely different for every franchise because they have different production, but for Dallas, she said they would give you a schedule way in advance, and she was like, I think it was like every 2 weeks or every month, and they would have everything set up. And she was like, you would work like 30 to 40 weeks, but she said the cameras are never like just randomly in your house. Like, it's always timed. There's always a schedule. You're never really gonna be surprised. But I'm sure that sometimes that's why people want Bravo to bring back like the interviews when they would just pull the ladies off to the side of whatever event they were at and like interview them right then and there, instead of doing these interview looks, which Stephanie also verified what we already knew, that like a confessional look, they may film 3 or 4 times, different times for that confessional. So they'll literally get a photo from production of what they were wearing, their makeup, their hair, and they're like, you have to recreate this look. So they have to do that 3 or 4 times for each confessional look. So that means we're not getting their reactions hot off the press We're not getting even like, okay, this went down last night. We got to get Kyle in a confessional first thing in the morning. Like, these are very well planned confessional looks and interviews. And I think it takes away from viewers because I would rather see and hear what the ladies are feeling in the moment, because I think it's more authentic, instead of we get more of like rehearsed confessionals, like rehearsed shade. And like, it wouldn't be like that if we were getting a little bit more closer to whatever was happening, versus like all of these scheduled out confessionals. Sorry, I was reading Marsha's comment. So she also said, what else did she? You work like 30 to 40 hours a week, and you have a tight schedule, and you have to recreate your confessional looks, which we did kind of know that. And then here's another thing they say: production has to approve all of your looks. And I find that's wild to me because the ladies end up wearing the same thing. We've seen that like 2 or 3 different times in Beverly Hills. So please riddle to me that you guys have to send your looks to production. Production has to okay them for each event. Yet Lisa Rinna and Erika still show up in this same pink suit at Erika's house for her party. And then remember, last year Kyle and Lisa were wearing that same polka dot dress and hat at one of the events. And I often wonder, is it because like they want to wear the outfit so they're willing to wear it the same day as somebody else instead of not wearing it at all? Does production do it on purpose and say, you wear this on this day and you wear this on this day? I don't know. But those are some things to consider about the Real Housewives. And I think that's when we like see a good job of production, you know, if production is a good company and they're doing a great job or not, because a lot of times they miss stuff, and it looks like Beverly Hills missed a lot of stuff. And I don't know if it's because they had local production there or if they had their regular production, but I think viewers are super disappointed that we didn't get to see any of the footage of Kathy at the house. So who got the bots? Tracy asks. I mean, I don't know who got the bots. Who do you guys think got the bots? I thought that they, you know, had pretty much confirmed they thought where they came from. Patrick Summers came out and said that he was part of the bot, allegedly, and that Lisa had hired him and that his company would never spew hate, but somehow he like showed a post of her that he had helped basically get the algorithm going because he liked it, and had the bots liking the post to make her look more popular. But at the same time, like, I don't know how you wouldn't know that the bots would be like spewing hate and racist things. That didn't make a lot of sense to me. And I don't know. I would say they probably all three were in on it. And what gives them away is the trip to Hawaii. If you ask me, I would say it's Lisa, Erika, and Diana. And Diana is funding it. And Lisa knew the people. And Erika is just there to help keep everything smooth amongst the women. And I think they definitely planned it when they were in Hawaii. Sadie Mellencamp said that she doesn't think that we're going to see Diana back next season, and that she would really love it if Bravo would bring her and Brandy and hell, even Denise back on to dish out or like, you know, hash out everything that transpired the season before, or the last 2 seasons ago. The easiest way for hate to spread is racist hate, even bots and algorithm. It's terrible. I just don't think that the bot job is sloppy, which gives me Lisa Rinna all day, because Lisa Rinna is kind of broke. So to me, she's frugal. She's not going to have the best people, right? Kathy Hilton has a daughter that's married to one of the, 10 richest families in the world. So Kathy Hilton can buy the best of whatever, and Lisa Rinna cannot. So she needs a deal. And that's why these bots were so terrible, so racist, and why they were pretty much caught, allegedly, red-handed, setting all of this up, because she couldn't afford, like, a good bots job. And so those are her people. And when they needed somebody, when they came up with this idea, Diana offered to pay for it. But, Lisa hadn't worked with any other high-end company, so she had to use the lower end, the 2-for-1 deal, and sometimes you get what you pay for. And Lisa and Diana and Erika got what they paid for. I don't think we'll see Diana again. She wasn't even wearing a mask in her, I don't even want to say confessional because I think they just brought her in like live video. She looks better with her hair down, 1,000%, but I don't think we're going to see her again. I just don't think we will. No, I don't think so. I've been waiting for Brandy to come back. I think Kyle is why Brandy has not been back. That might be true, Kelly, but Brandy was at Bravocon, which that's what's made me a little bit suspicious. I do think that Bravo owes her big time for coming in that season, and she kind of said that without saying it. If you guys remember, after all that went down, Denise realized that Brandy, if Denise didn't go back the next season, then there was no place for Brandy, right? Because all the drama was between Denise. So that's why Denise didn't finish out her contract, because she didn't want to give Brandy the satisfaction of giving her a spot on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So that's why Bravo never followed through with their end of the deal. If you guys remember, Brandy's son actually did a IG story directly to Andy Cohen that said something along the lines like, you promised my mom you were going to help us get out of here. So I don't know if they were living not in a great neighborhood or something. I don't know. And basically come through on your end. You promised my mom, you owe us a paycheck. So who knows if she got paid from that, or if Bravo owes her and they said, we're going to put you on mute for a couple of years and we'll bring you back. I don't know. I was surprised Teddy said that. I mean, oh gosh. Brandy was one of the first to mention most cheating rumors. Kyle never recovered. It's not Bravo or Andy. Catherine says no to Brandy. I think Kyle kind of used her too. I think that she used her for that storyline, because they didn't really have anything else going on. I mean, we saw how production, they had all the clips messed up between Christmas and Thanksgiving, and they were using something they had filmed in this in November as around Christmas time. They had everything all sort of backwards because of the fact that they didn't have anything going on, and they had to bring this in to the season, and it was not great. If you guys remember, we were looking at Kyle's background of her house and the decorations, because they were filming during Christmas and New Year's. Also, don't forget, and that's what else Stephanie said. She said they get really long breaks between filming, Thanksgiving break, Christmas break, and New Year's break, whatever the case may be. She's you might go 2 or 3 weeks and not film, and then you'll film for 3 more weeks. So again, they have these long periods of time where when something has happened and then they go 3 weeks, they're probably not even mad about it anymore. Right? I don't know, I'm just saying. I want to know what you guys think, though. Make sure that you comment letting me know what's going on with your opinions. Give me an overall opinion of the entire reunion, all 3 parts, because we know the 3rd part was disappointing, and I told you guys that in a live yesterday when I did a live regarding Lisa and Harry Hamlin, and Harry doing some real estate transactions in Canada for money, because they are struggling with 3 mortgages. But if you guys want to know more about Lisa and Harry, you should check out one of my last videos. And then I also did one a couple of weeks ago. It was a little bit more of a deep dive, and you guys might enjoy that. So make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. Definitely trying to grow. Going to be trying some new things soon. So subscribe and turn your notifications on, guys. And I will see you soon. Have a great day.